Now you get the basic idea. Obviously, you can move your hands around the drums and try different limbs to incorporate similar sounding licks between the kit, like this. Now the whole idea is to try to get as much mileage as you can out of licks that you already know how to play. Remember, just try applying them to different sound sources between different limbs. All right, one of the most important aspects about my playing that I want to touch on is performing. And that includes live performing as well as studio performing. And what I want to talk about is how I listen to the band. When I'm in the studio, I might be playing to a click track, so I may want to have the click real loud, maybe emphasize one of the instruments more so than the other. But when I play live, I try to do what I call peripheral listening, where I'm listening to the whole band and everybody around me at the same time. I may focus or key on the rhythm guitar more so, or maybe the bass on a particular song, depending on what seems to hold me down to the groove and the time better. But I always have to pay attention to everybody and everything that's going around at all times. Even if I have my head down like this and I'm hammering away at my kit, I'm always trying to be aware of the location where everybody is. Because at any given time, somebody may play something a little different, and I have to either support them and back them up, or maybe embellish them with some different kinds of licks in case they go off on a tangent to jam or something. So I find by listening and being aware of your surroundings at all times is a real important key to performing live. The next area I want to talk about is how to play in a more musical way, incorporating some chops or technical aspect of drumming as well as feel. Now we all know that feel is the most important thing for a drummer to do, as well as keeping good time. And we have to also remember the responsibility of good time is not only on the drummer. I found when I play with other musicians that have a real good sense of time, I tend to play with a better sense of time. So the responsibility, even though we are a timekeeper in the band, the responsibility is also on everybody else as well. And you'll find when you play with better musicians, you'll tend to be a better musician. Now the way I like to incorporate chops and feel is I try to be inventive with some cool licks and cool beats within the context of a song without sacrificing the feel. I realize my main job is to keep good time and to create a good feel with a solid backbone for the musicians that I'm supporting. So what I want to do is show you some examples that I've incorporated in some songs, some different grooves or beats that I feel were kind of somewhat a little tricky and inventive, but they were based around the riff or phrasing of the song. First example I want to show you was from a song called Devil's Stomp from the group Badlands. Now I tried to take basically one of my major influences, which was a John Bonham or Led Zeppelin-esque type of beat or groove that was based around the guitar riff, and it's almost like I'm outlining the phrasing of the guitar. It goes something like this. Okay, that was Devil's Stomp. As you can see, it had a very syncopated, up and down and around, kind of almost like a tongue-twisting type drum beat, and it's based around the guitar part. But you'll see that it still maintains a certain kind of a groove or beat thing, kind of a circular motion. The next song that I want to show you an example from is off at a yet-to-be-released Kiss song called Hate. And basically, I heard the riff, and I wanted to come up with something that I thought kind of was based around the guitar riff, but had a little bit of movement between the drums. It goes something like this. They're ringing everywhere. The next examples that I'd like to show you is incorporating some different type of fills that I call ascending drum fills. In other words, going backwards through the kit, starting with my floor toms. Now, a lot of times it's a very simple thing to do, but we don't always necessarily think about utilizing it. And the way I got this idea was years ago, I was really into Queen, and I heard a song called You're My Best Friend, where Roger Taylor would always do this backwards or ascending drum fill in numerous times throughout the song. So I've taken that kind of approach, and I utilized it a couple of times in a song called Heart of Chrome in the intro, and also in a song called Tough Love. I did a kind of a triplet fill going through the drums, descending, and backwards ascending. I'm going to show you both examples. Now that was from Tough Love. It's a basic drum fill that I used in one passage of the song. As you can see, I used triplets, descending, then I ascended back, just turned it around and came right back up to the snare. Actually, it's a very simple lick to work out, but it ends up sounding pretty cool if you find the right place to use it. Now the next lick was from a song called Heart of Chrome, where there again, using just 16th notes, I played backwards, starting with my floor toms, ascending up through the drums, and then I went descending the other way, something like this. So that was a couple examples to show you some simple licks that, with some creativity, might sound a little more technical than they actually are. It's just the creativity and imagination that you use in your head and transfer down to your sticks. Another important aspect of my playing that I want to talk about is live playing versus the studio playing in